In this video, we're going to learn how to upload an APK file into the Android market and walk through the steps that you need to take to complete your app upload. So the first thing you want to do is go to your market account. So that'll be market.android.com/publish. And if you haven't logged into your Google account, it'll ask you to do so, and then it'll take you to this page here. And if you haven't uploaded any apps, you certainly won't have this list here, but you will have this button called Upload Application. And we'll click on that. And then we would go choose our APK file. And remember that we do need to choose the zip-aligned APK file. So if you haven't watched the video on how to create that, go back and do that right now. All right, so I've gone out and found my zip-aligned APK file right here. I'll go ahead and double-click on that, and then we'll upload it. So now we see we have our new APK uploaded, and you'll see the app icon here, the name of it, version number, and version code. And then there are some APK requests for permissions that users will be warned about and features that will be used for Android market filtering. Things like this app requires use of the internet. Don't let these scare you at all. They're just things that are on most phones, but they do need to make sure that the app that's being downloaded is going to work on the phone that the person is downloading it to. So we'll go ahead and click the Save button. And now we see we've got two tabs here, one called Product Details and one called APK Files. I'm going to take you to the APK Files tab right away. And I want to show you this because your app is not actually activated right away. You need to go over here and click this Activate button. So we'll do that, and now our APK is activated. And if you tried to publish this app without having that activated, it'll just ask you to activate it. It's not really a big issue, but I wanted to show you that first. So let's go back to the Product Details tab. Here's where you're going to upload your graphic assets. So you can choose a file for your screenshot. You need at least two, but I certainly suggest putting in as many as you can. And then here's your high-resolution app icon. Again, that does not replace the icon that you upload to App Inventor. That icon will actually be the one that's on the person's phone as they're opening up your app. So they'll click on that one and your app will open up. This high-resolution app icon that they're talking about here is the one that's going to show up on the left side of the search listings when somebody's looking for your app. Then you can add an optional promotional graphic and an optional feature graphic. Promotional graphic, you can do that if you want to. It's certainly not necessary. The feature graphic, I definitely recommend you do that because when somebody looks at your app details, this is the graphic that's going to be at the top of the page. And if there is no graphic there, it just looks very unprofessional. And then you can certainly add any promotional videos that you have created for your app. And you would just put the website URL here. And there's a marketing opt-out here. And essentially what this says is, if you leave this box checked, there are certain Google-owned properties and countries that they may not market your app in. And most people are going to want their app marketed anywhere and everywhere that it can be. So I'm going to uncheck that, and that way we won't have any issues with Google marketing for us. So as we go down here, these are the listing details. These are going to show up in your app details page and on the search results in little snippet form. So you want to give your app a title, and you want to describe your app. And this is the information that users are going to be reading as they're trying to figure out what your app does and whether they want to download it. The recent changes box is for when you publish a new version of your app. You can put what changes that you've made in here, and then in your app details page, there's a tab that people can click on to go in and check what the changes are for the next update. Next, we've got promo text, and this is only for if you have uploaded a promo graphic. You can put a little promo text in here, up to 80 characters. And then next, we're going to select our application type. It's either an application or it's a game. For this one, I'll select application. And then you want to put the category that your app is going to be in. And we've got a long list of categories here, so just do your best to figure out which one it's going to be. All right, and then the next part here is the publishing options. And first we've got copy protection. You can leave that off or you can turn it on. And as you can see down here, the copy protection feature is going to be deprecated soon, so you may as well just leave it off because it's not going to be here much longer. And then for your content rating, you can have low maturity, medium maturity, or high maturity. And then for your pricing, you have the option for free and paid. And I do want to take a second here to let you know that once you set your app to free, you cannot change it to a paid app later. You can go the other way. You can start by charging or having a paid app and change it to free later, but you cannot change it from free to paid. And that rule is in place so that people don't offer a free app, get a bunch of great reviews and a lot of downloads, and then start charging for it and trick people into thinking that 1 million people have paid for this app, so it must be a really, really good one. So if you set your app to free, you don't need to deal with the price or choosing your countries or anything like that. But if you do switch to paid, now you have the option to go in here and put in your price. And I'm going to put in 99 cents. And as we scroll down here, you can see that you can actually change the price that you charge in, let's say, Australia or Austria, where they use the euro and things like that. And you can change the price depending on the specific countries. And once we're done here, I'll show you that you're actually going to have to go in and modify a few of these if you charge 99 cents, because some of these countries have minimum amounts that you can charge for an app. So you'll have to change your price up to that minimum. Again, we'll talk about that in a second. And then down here, you can choose to not market your app essentially in any of these countries. So if you leave this checked, you can sell your app in the rest of the world, except for I don't want to market my app in Guatemala for some reason. You can check that box and Guatemalans will not be able to download your app. We'll leave that unchecked because obviously we don't care where our app customers are for the most part. And then if we scroll down to the bottom here, we see contact information. You can put a website in here, and if you do so, you'll get a link inside of your app listings, the detailed information listings that say visit developer's website, and whatever you put in here as your website will be the link that it takes the user out to. So if you have several apps and you want to give users more information on what the apps are all about than you have in your Android Market listing, you can certainly set up your website and put that URL in here. And then you'll want to put your email in here and your phone number. And the last part is your consent. So you want to check the box that says this application meets Android content guidelines. And you want to check the box that says you acknowledge that the software you're uploading here is subject to United States laws. Now the last step for you here is to go back up to the top of the page and hit the publish button. Since I have not uploaded any screenshots, it won't allow me to publish this until I have uploaded those. But if I were to hit this publish button and I have all of my icons and graphics in here, what's going to happen is it'll ask me to finish up this part right here. Remember, we talked about changing the prices for some of these countries. It'll essentially give me a red box around any of the countries that I need to increase my price in. And it'll tell you what the minimum price is. So if it's €1 in Belgium, it would tell me that. And I would just go in and put in 1.00. So that's €1. And then so on down the line. I think there's about 6 or 7 that you'll need to change. And then you can go all the way back up to the top and publish. As you see, you can certainly save your content at any time and come back to it. So if I save my content, I can actually go back to just click this little icon here. It'll take me back to my publisher account. And I see that I've got an untitled app here because I didn't put the title in. If you need to go back in and add some more graphics or change some of your settings, you can just click on the name of the app and it'll take you right back to this page here with the product details and the APK files. And that's the entire process for uploading an app to the Android market. As long as you fill out this page here with all of the information that Google requires, and you go over here and click your APK file and you activate it, then you can publish and it'll go up to the Android market. And once you've got your app published to the market, I've noticed that it takes anywhere from usually about 3 or 4 hours, but up to 12 hours I've seen for your app to actually show up and be searchable on the market.